Okay, let's go ahead and get started with 515. 515 on page 161. So what I'm going to do for this one is I'm going to start off drawing two rectangles to get this cross. I'm going to project each one of these edges back, and then I'm going to finish up with project geometry for the back side. You could start with a big solid and cut it all out, but when I look at this, I think it would be easier to go along the lines of just creating the initial part and then using project geometry. So starting on my front view plane, I'm going to create, like I said, two rectangles. I'll go ahead and specify the dimensions as I'm typing this. So it's going to be a 3, tab 0.5. That'll give me the overall first rectangle. Then I'm going to just sketch in the second rectangle. It will have 0.5 for the first part, tab 3. And now I'm going to locate that from the base here. This is given to us at 0.875. And then, I messed up. That is not 3. This is 2.25. Okay, so 2.25. So that's 0.875, half of an inch. And then the overall is 2.25. And then we're going to locate it left to right. So the dimension provided was 1.25. We have it set at half of an inch, so we have all of our dimensions that we need there. So the next thing I'm going to do is just go ahead and trim out the inside. Okay. And finish sketch. And guys, I really probably didn't even need to trim that out. Sorry, I could have left that on there. It would. The only thing would be different is that you would have to select all of the features to extrude that, but I'm going to go 0.25, and just keeping with like the geometry, I'm going to extrude this in direction 2. And then I'm going to flip this around, and now I'm going to create another sketch on the back side, projecting my geometry for this entire part. I'm now going to draw a line. So you can see the line there is going perpendicular. I'm right-clicking on my mouse button to create line, and I'm just sketching this in, and then I'm going to follow with a dimension. So this is just using the sketch and then the dimension option. So now I'm going to pick those two lines, make them 0.25. Oops. Pick that dimension there. Oops. Let's see what happened there. Maybe I picked two of them twice. There we go. 0.25. This one. This one. So notice how the dimension, when I change the dimension, the location of the line is changing with the dimension change. Alright, so I've got the project geometry, so these lines are already defined on the outside. So I'm going to finish the sketch there and extrude, and now I'm just going to carefully point inside of each one of these boxes. Let's zoom in a little bit closer there. There we go. Alright, so let's figure out the dimension. So looking at the textbook, the dimension that I've got here is 1.75 is the overall. But each one of these ledges here is 0.25, so this is 0.25 and that's 0.25. So I'm just doing the piece on the inside, so from here to here. So I'm going to take 1.75 and subtract 1.75, subtract 0.25, subtract 0.25. That's for the front and the back face. So that would be the remaining dimension for that inside piece. Alright, back to this side here. So we're going to create another sketch on the back side using project geometry again. You can see, guys, it saves yourself so much time when you just use the project geometry. We've already drawn that. So what I just did was I projected all of the lines that are already there from our other sketches. I projected those forward. Didn't have to redraw. I didn't have to dimension anything. I'm just using the geometry that's already there. So picking each one of those profiles, and then this is only 0.25. That puts that thickness on there, and that's why I subtracted it out over here, because this is 0.25, that's 0.25, so that's going to end up with a 1.75 dimension, overall dimension. Hit OK, and there we go. So using project geometry, And that's it.